There's a compound in beets. Actually, let's put it this way. Beets are pretty much appearing to be a very powerful multifunction tool in regard to aiding in one's health. In this case, we're looking at a particular compound from beets called Betanin. And what this does is primarily give the beets its red and or purplish color per se. But normally you will think about beets as being a benefit to, let's say, mental acuity in regard to Alzheimer's because of the oxygen flow. But au contraire, Betanin has a pretty unique effect that may play a role even beyond that of Alzheimer's in regard to reducing the oxidative stress of metals. You'll understand why in a second. Let us begin with the research, and I'm not ad-libbing. This is the title as presented from the American Chemical Society as follows. Vegetable compound could have a key role in beating Alzheimer's disease. Now keep in mind what we're looking at is primarily two things. We're looking at what happens when beta amyloids basically combine with copper, creating oxidative damage. The Betanin seems to have a chelating effect per se. I'm using my own words in regards to that. That seems to disarm this particular process. But to move forward, a compound of beets that gives the vegetable its distinctive red color could eventually help slow the accumulation of misfolded proteins in the brain, a process that is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Previous research conducted by other scientists suggests that beetroot juice can improve oxygen flow, as we've covered ahead of time, to the aging brain and possibly improve cognitive performance. All right, hypothetically, that makes sense in regard to benefiting Alzheimer's and other potential cognitive ailments per se or challenges. Building on the work, basically the researchers wanted to find out if Betanin, a beet compound used in commercial dyes that readily binds to metals, could block the effects of copper on beta amyloid and in turn prevent the misfolding of these peptides and the oxidation of neurons. On its own, beta amyloid caused little or no oxidation of DTBC. This is what's used to basically keep track of oxidative stress. This is otherwise known as, I believe, 3,5 diterbutyl catechol. All right, let's proceed. However, as expected, beta amyloid bound to copper induced substantial DTBC oxidation. Beta amyloid plus copper oxidation. But when the Betanin was added to the copper-bound, Betanin obviously from beets, copper-bound beta amyloid mixture, in vitro, the researchers found oxidation dropped as much as 90%. To repeat, oxidation dropped by as much as 90% in combination of the copper and the beta amyloid. So it had a protective function, suggesting that the misfolding of the peptides was basically potentially suppressed. To quote the researchers further, we can't say that Betanin stops the misfolding completely, but we can say that it reduces oxidation. Less oxidation could prevent misfolding to a certain degree, perhaps even to the point that it slows the aggregation of beta amyloid peptides, which is believed to be the ultimate cause of Alzheimer's disease. Now, here's some notes from the conference. Again, to repeat, the links to the conference will be put in the comments section, because if you put the links in the info section, then sometimes that hampers video distribution. But to proceed with the notes from the conference, keep in mind what we're going to cover is hypothetical and it's conjecture based upon the best information available per se, meaning more studies need to be done in regard to these statements, except for the oxidation part we're about to cover right here. Oxidation, 90% reduction. Peroxidation, up to, at this point in time, a 70% reduction. Betanin, this is an important part, gets easily absorbed through the intestinal tract and, according to other studies, passes readily through the blood-brain barrier. Case in point, in regard to beta amyloid and copper oxidation. May only be required in very small amounts, dietary, we're assuming. Interesting, may have other uses in regard to metal-based ailments, such as Wilson's disease, which could be copper overload, and hemochromatosis, whatever you want to say, due to iron overload, or any other possible effect where they may have damage due to the body not being able to metabolize or work with metals appropriately. Also, extremely important, it doesn't appear to affect the normal nutritional uses of these particular metals, for example, like copper and iron per se to building blood, which that'd be kind of counterintuitive if the Betanin chelated to iron in regard to building red blood cells. That would not be good, but however, it does not appear to have any nutritional hampering in regard to that effect. And so, the links will be there in the comments section in regard to the news conference from the American Chemical Society. They have a lot of cool stuff on top of that too. I know you hear the word chemical, it doesn't have a good connotation, but you really got to check them out because they do have a lot of fun stuff. Again, I hope you find this information of use. Hypothetically, through conjecture, may require a beet or two per week per se to have this desired effect, hypothetically. But again, I hope you find this information of use. This is Ralph Turchiano signing off. Thank you very much for listening and look forward to seeing you all once again in 7 days. Catch you then.